Hi, I'm Huda. I'm here with AP, and today I am going to talk about being a first generation college student. So, by definition, a first generation college student is someone whose whose parents did not complete a 4-year degree. So today I just want to do a little background introduction for this podcast. Just what are my experiences in the University of Maryland, seeing first generation college students versus like people whose family have been going to college for generations. So first is the financial aspect. This one is a biggie. It's pretty big. Um, it's huge. So for starters, I'll say that regarding the financial aspects, you have those people who save for their children and grandchildren. Um, this is usually people that I see that whose parents went to college and they save for it. So this is not first generation students, and these also tend to be people who are not from immigrant backgrounds. I had a girl in one of the clubs that I'm in talk about how her grandparents had saved for her college fund, and then when she turned 18, they went ahead and they checked how much money was left, and they were actually over. So that was a good thing for her. But you have those people. And I've even had a friend who whose parents saved money for her and her sister's college tuition. And her sister didn't use all of her money up, so she was able to use that money for herself. And in addition to her own college fund. So she's not in debt or anything. But then you have the people that are in debt. And this, I feel like, from my experience, are people who are not in poverty. I mean, some of them are, but from my experience, it's usually people who don't qualify for certain financial like Pell Grant recipients or some type of financial aid because they're not low income enough. But at the same time, they don't have a very high income. You know, they just they're just barely over the cap of qualifying for some low income support. So that sucks. So what a lot of those kids do is they take out loans, and it's, in my opinion, I think it's really sad to see because they a lot of them end up like 100K in debt, 200K in debt before even really reaching their mid to late 20s. That's unfortunate. And there's always financial aid out there. There's always some type of funds. You can always just speak um to financial aid. I mean, I ain't gonna hold you. Not everyone working in financial aid is helpful, but some of them are very helpful and go out of their way to help you, which is absolutely wonderful, actually. Um, but one thing I've learned is you got to know who to ask. So once you've been around the university long enough, or you've been anywhere long enough, you kind of get a feel of who to ask, and networking and stuff like that. Uh, there's so many offices to help people at the university that if you do need financial assistance or anything, you can maybe email the director of your department, um, and say, hey, are there any type of scholarships for people with my major, stuff like that. I personally have gotten all the scholarships, well, not every single one, but all of the scholarships in my department that don't require study abroad because, like the whole COVID situation. And I'm graduating soon, so I don't really want to go abroad at this moment. So we do have scholarships for students studying abroad if you're like a language major like me. But I want all the scholarships that are, in Maryland. uh, for my department. So you just gotta look around, ask around, and sometimes a lot of these things, are just so not sought out for. Like University of Maryland has a lot of resources, and people just uh don't ask, which is very unfortunate. All you have to really do a lot of times is ask, and a lot of us put ourselves in unfortunate situations that we don't really have to go through if we just ask. And I hate to see that, but this school has so many resources. Like, I just want to make it clear that whatever whatever you need, you can certainly get at the University of Maryland if you ask. There's so many resources. Even like still to this day, it's so funny that 5 years in Maryland, I'm still finding a lot of resources. And I'm happy and proud that I've always been like the person that's always been around. Like people just see me around because I'm always around for a commuter. um and because I'm always around, I'm always talking to people, friendly. I have access to a lot of these resources. That's great. Um you also have like a lot of people that I know that especially graduated in 2020, like they graduated in 2020. I feel bad if you graduated in 2020. I'm sorry. I feel bad for you. We all are sorry. That was a situation. I'm sorry. But like it was bad. But look, I'm not gonna lie. All the people I know that graduated in 2020 don't have good jobs, or just didn't find a job, or just went straight to grad school after already being like 200,000 plus dollars in debt. Like it's really not an ideal situation. So yeah, look for scholarships. Um, talk to financial aid. You know, um, you might have to push them a little. I ain't gonna lie, you might have to push them a little. Some of them don't even do anything. Like it, don't even to give you started financial aid. Because I'm a tutor, so I always tell my students which people in financial aid are more likely to help them. Who's just gonna sit there and be like, yeah, I can't help you, like doesn't want to pull up your account or whatever. And what there's some keywords you actually have to say to get some help at financial aid. And I'm letting y'all know, like if you say there's a part where they have you in and out. I don't think they do that anymore, but back in the day, they would have like a basement floor, and at the top floor, um, you come in and you ask the question, and they get you in and out pretty fast. And I didn't know this was a thing until I like really needed assistance with something. And I told them, no, I have to have like a sit down, like I need to talk to somebody. This whole like line and pushing people in and out. No, 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 no. I was like, we're not going to do this. Like, we're not doing this right now, because I was like, I really need to speak to someone. And then suddenly they opened like a whole like basement floor. I'm like, yeah, here's our office, and we have someone for you to talk to. So these resources are available. You just got to ask for it. And a lot of times it's keywords like I need to speak to someone, or like I need like more one-on-one to talk to someone, and they give you that. You're not bothering them. That's their job. Like I cannot emphasize enough. I can go on and on and on about this point, but yes, there are resources just right under your nose, and all you have to do is look for them. And the last group of people I know are people that are working to earn money to pay for their college themselves. So their parents didn't necessarily save, or maybe their parents might have saved them a little bit, but they have to pay their way through college, which is really, really rough. It is very rough. I worked my way through college last semester. So we're in spring 2023 right now. Spring 2022, I did that, and it wreaked havoc on my grades because I was working the night shift and I go to school, and I literally didn't have a day off. So like Monday through Friday, I would be in school, and then Saturday and Sunday I would be working. And there was like, it was not healthy, and Whew, yeah, that was rough. And eventually, like, I couldn't hold it up, like, mentally, because I was doing so much. And it's not that, I can't work. It's just I was overworking myself week after week. And then I would, on top of that, take extra shifts. So I'd work on school nights. It just, like, it's not really ideal. I mean, honestly, if you have to work and earn money to pay your way through college, I suggest maybe getting a campus job. So, like, they let you study while you're at the front desk or something like that. Like, they make it very convenient for students. So, on campus jobs are definitely something I would recommend, um, if that is the situation you're in. But yeah, like working at a store, just working outside of the university is rough. It's really rough. They're not really flexible. I mean, I even applied for a job 2 months ago, and the lady basically told me no, because she was just like, well, we have to, like, I have to prioritize the store first. And if you're like a part-time student, that's not really, what she's looking for. But you know what? At the end of the day, I think that really turned out to be what was best for both of us in this situation. So yeah, but like, whew, yeah, working and going to just, you don't want to overdo it because you might end up like trashing your grades by overworking yourself constantly. Um, so the next thing I noticed is the support from family plays a big role. And a lot of people think just financial support, but there's different ways of supporting, like giving advice and encouraging people. Um, like a lot of first generation college students don't have that advice. They don't know what they can really do. Like honestly, like when I entered college, I like had no idea what I wanted to do. And I went with like my something, something I was very passionate about, but at the same time, I never really had anyone sit me down and explain to me, hey, these are the careers available. And when you graduate, this is kind of the salary range you can expect. Nobody. And I think that is such an important thing that we need to start doing for college students in general and first generation college students. Because I have friends that graduated and they're all of a sudden shocked. Oh my God, I graduated with this type of degree and it's not making money and I got to do this, this, and that. And now I got to go to graduate school and be more in debt. And it's just like, really just a lot like some type of advising, well, not just university advising. I think this should be like a requirement, honestly. Like, I think we need to sit people down and let them know, hey, these are your options. And I have on the slide that influences career choice or culture, because you tend to notice a lot of people have choose like a major tend to be from a certain background because that's what their culture advises them to do. That's the expectation. They're told, hey, this is how you make money. This is how you can expect to have a decent salary when you graduate. And that's what a lot of people do. Like, and then you have other cultures that are more like liberal or whatever, and like, oh, you follow your heart. And then, you have a lot of these people do that and then they graduate and they're like, man, now what? And also, like, I definitely recommend going to the Career Center because I went to the Career Center and I'm apparently qualified for a lot more jobs than I thought. And we have career fairs and everything, career for Terps, like the number 4 and Terps. Yeah, definitely check it out. Like I said, all of these resources. So if you don't have any type of culture, like advising, you can always get some cultural, I'm sorry, some career advising from the Career Center at the University of Maryland. A lot of people don't use this. And, like like I said, I've had friends that graduated and they're not making much and they're like, oh, this is all my degree fault. And I'm like, I don't necessarily believe that. I believe that we all qualify for stuff, but also a lot of my friends graduated in 2020. So that might be a thing. Wait, my bad. I'm not done. Oh, no, I'm not sharing. So, immigrant households. I noticed immigrants, a lot of first generation college students are um children of immigrant families. And this is really interesting because it also goes into like the support. Some of these families might not know a lot about college or might not support it, or even I would go as far as to say like maybe discourage it. You know, I personally come from a culture where there's been plenty of times where I've been discouraged from going into higher education for different reasons. Some of it is cultural, I suppose you could say, because I'm a woman. You know, there's that, and also just not really knowing better. So, yeah, like that's the whole thing for a lot of people, and I don't think a lot of people realize how much sexism can play a part of it. Like we act like it's all over, but no, there's a lot of people still going through that, and that kind of reminds me of like one of my teachers, Miss Boris from Parkdale High School. She's not there anymore, unfortunately, but she went to Maryland. She said she went to Maryland in the 70s, and she said that her father couldn't understand why a woman needed a college degree. And you know, that's just a different generation type of thing. It might also be cultural because he's an older generation Italian man, maybe that plays into it. But yeah, diverse backgrounds. This is big. So when you're in college, like, I mean, the college experience is great, but you also get to notice like the different types of people there are. You just meet so many different types of people in college. And it's so, I mean, I feel like college is the only place that you're really going to be stuck in a class or a place with people from so many different backgrounds. Like, I feel like you don't really get that in different contexts. Like, you know, I mean, I've seen people whose parents work, you know, like a regular 9 to 5, and then I've seen people who like family or business, like business owners, and I feel like okay, I feel like I okay. I was in a class and I was going through the list because we had this like, I think he was like a chemical engineer guy in my class. And I was like, on now some people could write a bio, and he basically had like that his family ran a cigar business. And he was getting a degree in chemical engineering, but he intended to run the family business, which it like um I'm pretty sure you don't need a degree in like chemical engineering to run a family business, but I was just shocked because you know I don't the types of diverse backgrounds in Maryland, like we didn't have that in my high school. Like everyone in my high school relatively like not very diverse backgrounds. But yeah, I was just really shocked. And he was also talking about how he was like an intern at this like I don't know, like chemical power plant thing. I'm not a really scientific person, but yeah, uh you have people who whose family run own businesses, you know, uh service workers, all types of background. International students have met a lot of people from Europe and different parts of Asia. And um it is so interesting. It's so interesting. And you can use that as a networking, like please like add these people on LinkedIn early on. I just started using LinkedIn like a year ago, but I really should have started it like a really long time before, but you know. let's see. You definitely don't want to lose out on the type of people you meet. Like I'm kind of sad that college is coming to an end slightly. I mean, of course I want to graduate, but I'm kind of sad because I'm like, yeah, I kind of like screwed up my whole networking thing. And also especially because like, you know, COVID kind of hit my cohort like in the last couple of years. Um, oh yes, community. So let's go into this. I think I deleted it. So, anyways, here we go. So, I think it's so important to have a community at the University of Maryland or any wherever you go. You don't want to just kind of like be alone by yourself, not not really doing much, you know. So here we have the academic achievement programs, which really was such a good experience for me coming into college because I was given a community. I wasn't just like thrown in here for no reason. AAP provides like a lot of that advice and assistant um and college support. I mean, there's Dr. Lewis. Hey, Dr. Lewis. But yeah, it's just so important to have a community that you can always turn back to. You know, I start off with AAP in 2017 and it's 2023 and I'm still here, which is why I'm doing this podcast. It's such a good thing. So yeah, make sure you have a community. That can be a sorority, that can be a club, some type of community. You don't want to just come in and come out and just be a nobody. Like it's just making connections. Important. Okay. Oh yes, and resources. I kind of did go on a whole rant about this before, but um regarding resources, just ask all over UMD. Like, okay, let me show you guys. Careers for Terps. Let's see what they got. University Center. You can search for opportunities, RSVP appointment with a career advisor, apply for interviews, explore for jobs, and there's like events, and you get to see like the full event calendar of businesses coming, and there's always an event. Like this is the Defense Intelligence Agency Information Recruitment event. I'm doing this tomorrow. Today's like the 27th, but I'm doing this tomorrow. You just got to use these resources. Be productive about it, because I've met people that have secured jobs before they even graduated and people that have not secured like anything because they're not asking around or looking for it. So yeah, that's all I have for today. I hope you didn't mind that I did a bunch of ranting, but that is what it is. I'll see you on our next episode. I'm going to talk more about the college life, and that's it. See you later.